Good morning, parents and children. Here we are once again for the second session of the webinar from Genext. Today, our topic will be digital detox. But before we start with this topic, let us once again introduce ourselves to you. My name is Parminder Kaur. We enhance the child's goal. We help them to achieve their goals. We understand their goals and we work together with the child to achieve their goals. We are your academic coach and counselors. So, once again, we welcome you to the live session of Genex. Our topic today is digital detox. What do you mean by detox? Detox means to enhance yourself or to refrain yourself from using electronic products such as computers, smartphones, and other life gadgets. In other simple words, we would like to tell you, to express you that how can we survive without using these digital gadgets. Remember, initially, about 10 to 15 years back in our stream life, we were not much addicted to these gadgets. But in today's generation, in today's world, we start our day with these gadgets itself. So we will understand why detoxation of these gadgets are essential in our life. So the first point which we want to discuss with you is screen time and behavior problem. Screen time is the time spent by the person by using the screen in way of watching TV, working on computer, using your mobile phones, etc. Remember, if we spend more time on these electronic gadgets in front of our children will also follow the same thing. The more you are involved with it, the less physical activities are done. So you see, in the past, when we finished our homework in our childhood, what we used to do was we used to go out and play. But today, the children, what does he do? As soon as he finishes with his homework, his studies, he goes back on his mobile. He plays PUBG games. He's on some or the other thing with the mobile or any of the lively gadgets. So we would like to inform you or we would like to suggest you the less you use these gadgets in front of your child, the more beneficial it will be for you and for your family. Similarly, nowadays teaching also has gone online. We see many teachers teaching online, which is good enough, yes, but human assistance is also needed. So, if the child is more on online basis, let it be for studies, let it be for games or for any other activities, let it even be for Google, but he is giving more of the time to the screen. The effects will be he will have headache, his eyes will become weak, his thinking power will reduce because for each and everything he will go to Google and search instead of using his own creativity. A second thing which we see is problems of technology addiction. This is a major challenge faced by a parent. A 2 years child also knows how to use a mobile. This is because he sees the parent in front of him using all these gadgets. The same thing, the more you use in front of the child, the more child gets addicted to it. And the major problems which we face is his grades decreases. Why? Because his concentration level also decreases. And he gets a sleepless night. His health conditions also decrease. And the child is more busy playing games on the mobile than playing outdoor games. Today, what do we want is the child should have more extracurricular activities so that he grows physically and mentally. He should have the challenge to face the world. He should have all those apps. He should have all those abilities to face the world. Just being merely on the mobile and playing games keeps him aloof from the world, I can say. His interaction with everybody decreases. You see that in a family, in a dining hall itself. There are three members. The mother is busy with seeing her own TV serial on the mobile. The father is busy watching the cricket. The child is busy seeing his own YouTube sessions, whatever he is interested in. So, being in the same room itself, the interaction between all three is zero. They all are busy into the mobile. Initially, it wasn't. There was only one mode or one media of entertainment, that was television, and each and everybody used to sit together and see to the serials or the news or the cricket channels and work together and have a talk. But currently, there is nothing like that happening inside a family. This is the biggest disadvantage. Being inside the family itself, we are still not closely connected to each other. So I request all the parents to see that you are connected with your child. A second point is to how to set rules and guidance. Yes, this is a major task which a parent has to do. Now, before you set rules and regulations for your child, my dear parents, you have to set rules and regulations for yourself. First, follow the rules you set for your child and then tell the child to follow it. If you want the child to use less of the gadgets, see that you are using less of it. If you tell the child to study and you're busy on your mobile watching a show, the child will never study. He will say yes. He will just keep the book in front of him and he will not study. But you see, initially, what our parents used to do. My mother used to sit next to me and cut vegetables when I was studying. So she was doing her work, I was doing my own. But today, a parent either is busy in their own world or they're busy with their mobiles or with their gadgets. So I request the parents, if you want your child to follow good norms, good rules, please set it for yourself first. If you want your child to sleep back at 10:30, you yourself have to sleep with him by 10:30. Otherwise, they come back to you saying, where you sleep at 10:30 and you expect us to sleep the same. So please set rules for yourself, follow those rules, and then tell your children to follow it. This will be a good instruction for them because then they cannot bounce you back. And remember, parents, the child will never listen to you, but it will always follow you or imitate you. So, whatever you do will be done by their child also. So, I request the parents to first set rules for themselves and then for their child. And according to their age factor, you can give them the hours to use the mobile or to use the electronic assets. You can tell them fix 1 hour where you can speak to your friends or associate with your friends or whichever your games you want to play or PUBGs and all. Set a fixed time for them so that they can be involved in other extracurricular activities. Remember, parents, the more you keep them busy with extra physical activities, the less they will be involved with the electronic assets. Nowadays, children don't go out to play. We used to play small games even indoors and outdoors. Go back and recollect. Do you see any of the games played by a child which you or I had played during our teenager time? Langadi, Coco, many other games like that. Ludo. Nowadays, Ludo also has come on your mobile. So there you see them playing. So this is what you have to understand. The more physical activities they do, the more of the energy they burn, they get tired and they sleep fast. They, while using the mobile sessions, while using these electronic assets, they're not physically exhausted. Only their fingers or their thumbs get exhausted because they go on pressing the key buttons. So you have to exhaust them physically. They're tired enough to have a peaceful sleep at night and they can come back fresh the next morning. The next point which we want to discuss is screen time alternatives. As said just now, we have to find different alternatives for the child. So when he comes from the school, lay down a schedule. Okay, after school, have a lunch, sleep for half an hour, rest for some time, and then go for this activity or go for this class. And then you have time for your homework, your class teacher tuitions, and then a little on mobile. The more you involve them in different activities, the less is the time they will have for these gadgets. Why does a child go back to these gadgets? On and off, on and off. The moment he gets bored, he has no other alternative at home to chalo mobile uthaya, he starts playing. But if he has a day packed schedule, do you think he will get such time to go back on and off with the mobile? No. We have to plan his day. We have to plan all the activities of his day so that he's physically and mentally involved. The more he is involved, the more he will grow physically and mentally. He will have that power to think, to find out answers for himself, to understand the situations and react, to mix with other children. He will understand how a person being all alone and being in a group can react. Because when he's all alone with the mobile, he is the boss of the team. He's the boss of the time. But when he's working in a group, he has to accept the views and other views of the children and move forward. So this is how the interaction, he understands what does the other child think at the same point. So this is what we want today. This is the screen time alternative challenge which we are facing. We want the children to mingle up with other friends. Our screens and our digital assets have made us aloof from our family also and from our friends. Initially, we had many friends, but now if you tell them to come, they hardly have friends. They have friend groups, but they do not have a friend whom they really can call a friend, where they can really share their feelings. So, parents, we request you to have a busy schedule with a child as you are busy throughout the day and you hardly get time to go back to your mobile. But the moment you are free, you are on and off with that mobile, the similar reaction comes from your child too. See that they have a busy schedule, they are busy in some good activities so that which is benefited to them in their future. The last point which we come to, what is the benefit of digital detox? As said earlier, digital detox means to refrain yourself, to keep away yourself from these electronics assets, or try to see how much time can you survive without these assets. How much time during a day do you can use these gadgets, or how much time you can avoid them. The best and the first thing which I would say, the more you refrain yourself from using these cassettes, the more good your relationship becomes. Instead of WhatsApping, I leave, I'm coming home, you call and you tell your parent that yes, I'm leaving and I'm coming. So there is a personal interaction. You are more close to your family, you're more close to your friends, you meet your friends. Because now, if the mobile is not there, you want to chit chat, talk, you will talk directly to your parents. If the mobile is there, you're WhatsApping your group and speaking to them through message, not by personal interaction. The second, it reduces stress in you. The stress level gets reduced because the moment the battery is down or the battery is less, you're not getting signals. You become hyper. Arey, battery nahi chal raha hai. Signal nahi mil raha hai. How can I convey message? What if the mobile was not there? Go back in 10 years down the lane. Mobile की service इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी. So how did we stay? We were surviving. So let us survive now. Why panic at small things? You panic when your mobile battery is down. You panic when your message sent is not delivered. These are not the things which you have to panic. You have to just control, chill. हो जाएगा ना? अभी नहीं हुआ तो 2 मिनट बाद, 5 minutes बाद, the message will be conveyed. The signal will come. And if the battery is down, wait for 50 minutes, charge it, and then you can use the mobile. But we just panic. We create nonsense at home. We start screaming, yelling, मेरी battery charge नहीं किया आपने, ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ. So this is not to be done. This creates stress. This increases your blood pressure. Let it be of the parent, let it be of the child. The next thing, what I want to tell you is the benefit you get more time for yourself. Instead just going on the Google, on the Facebook, on any other things, it is you can give time to yourself. You can go back to your exercises. You can go for your yoga classes. You can follow any of your interest. Yes, so Suhas Nayak, I have seen your question, and as I finish, sir, we will come back to you, and it increases the productivity and creativity of the child. This is the major impact which I should say has on the child. Because if you want an idea, you want an answer, what do you do nowadays? You just go on Google. Earlier, we used to use our brains, and there was very much more creativity. You understand parents and children, the more we use Google, the less are we using our brains. Our brain becomes dead if we do not use it much. Our creativity level goes down, which should not, because what creativity you can give, the Google might not give you. So each one has a caliber, each one has a potential. Please explore your potential. Follow Google. Yes, I don't say don't go against it. Follow Google. But then use your own creativity so that it gives you your own personal touch. Let it be your own creative idea, not a copied idea. It improves your physical and mental health, yes, because the less you are on mobile, the less you are with this electronic gadgets, you involve in more further activities because you want to exhaust those 24 hours of the day. So you're free. So you're free. You can join yoga, you can do some activities, you can go to gym, you can go for playing. The children can join any coaching for your games, for cricket coach, badminton coaching, anything activities with the child is interested in. They can go for music, learning piano, singing, whatever the child is interested. You can remove time for those interests and activities, which will help you to grow. It increases your attention span also because now you're becoming more attentive. You're looking all away. When we are in front of a gazette, we are just looking there at the gazette. We do not look at the right, we do not look at the left. Our observation power reduces. But when we are in a family or when we are there with a group, we are looking what is happening all around. Our eyes, our movements, our views, our attentions moves all around. We see many things coming in, going out. But when we are into an electronic asset, my focus is directly on that cassette. I do not see what is happening in my surroundings. It also helps us to refine problem solving and analyzing skill. Why? Because we depend more on Google. So now, if I am less dependent on Google, if I work on my own creativity, my analyzing skills will increase. I will understand how to identify a problem. Then, what are the resources, what are the sources which can be used to solve those problems? Instead of going to Google or going to anybody else, this will help us to understand to solve our own problems, our own personal problems, any problems at any level. So our analytical skills will increase, which is very important. Children nowadays panic because they do not have that caliber to solve the skill. The reason is because the interaction with them, with their family, with their friends, with their neighborhood has decreased. And all this is because of the electronic gadgets which are provided at home. So when these gadgets are less of use, you understand you have a problem, you speak to somebody, they will give you some suggestions. You analyze those suggestions and then you apply if they are applicable to you. So this is what takes place when you are away from these gadgets. And you become less dependent on the technology. The more you are dependent on the technology, the less you are on yourself. So now you see the ICSC students, the IB students, they are more using those calculators, but the state board students, They are not allowed to use a calculator till 12th standard. So they have a mastery over maths calculation. But if you tell an IC student or an IB student to calculate anything, they will first go on those scientific calculators, which is wrong. You should have some strong abilities. You should have a strong base where you can solve things by your own self without using these gadgets. This will help you to make your foundation more strong. So I request you, the more you can avoid, the better it is. There are instances where you cannot avoid, but the more you avoid, we can help it out. A request to the parent is we normally say we have work on the mobile, we have work on our laptop, and we see parents carrying their laptops at home. Remember, parents, home is for your home people, for your family, and office is for your office work. The moment you carry your office work home, you are taking away time for your parents, for your wife, for your children. Finish your work of the office at home itself and do not carry the laptops. You might say "Ki we are doing work on the laptops. We are not just sitting in front of the screen. But this is what the child sees. He will not understand at that level that the papa or mama is doing their office work. Office hours are given for your office work. Say that you complete it at that time. Do not carry much of it at home. Do not take away the time of your siblings, of your wife, your parents. The more you use those gadgets at home, the more is the effect on the child. We would like you to subscribe this channel. We would like you to give your views on these channels. And before we come to an end to this, we would first start with our interaction session of question and answers. Hope you have understood the concept which we want you to understand. What does digital detox mean? It means parents first use less of these gadgets in front of the child and then tell the child, please follow these rules. We start with a questionnaire session. Our first question is by Suhas Naik. They say that my child doesn't eat without watching YouTube videos. How do I change this habit? So, sir, the YouTube videos might be initially watched by you or your family members at home. How does a child know what does a YouTube mean? May I know the age of the child? Now, if the child is watching a YouTube video and eating, remember, eating food will not at all give him benefit. It is always said that when you're eating food, aloof yourself from all the environmental sounds. You have to just concentrate on your food. Because if she sees or he sees a fight going on, he will chew that fast. In anger, he will chew that fast. And in slow motion movies or something which is very slow, he will chew that slow. The reaction, the emotions come to him and he eats or he chews his food the same way. It is a request that during eating food, it is always suggested please do not switch on your mobiles or TV. Eat your food, have that 15-20 minutes of yours only for yourself and the food because that is the petrol which is needed to your body. It is a fuel which gives your body to work and think. So now, if he is watching of YouTubes, you have to make him understand the effects and the side effects. Tell him Monday to watch the YouTube and notice his reaction. The second day, tell him please do not use the YouTube and eat. You will see he will find it very boring to eat and he will say, nahi ho raha, khane nahi ho raha, kha nahi sakta. But then the habit which is cultivated, it will take time for him to leave that habit. Initially, he will understand the effects and the side effects. You can see that when the child is eating the food, you can see his behavior, his expressions. His expressions will match typically to the what video he is watching. So the more aggressive video he is watching, the more aggressive his expressions will be. The more aggressively he will eat the food, which will not at all benefit his body. So, a request to all the parents please see that while eating food, you do not watch news. You do not watch any of the serials which are crime. You just have a healthy environment so that the food helps you out. The second question comes from Khalida Munshi. My child demands a phone as in her class, all her friends have a mobile. It's difficult to then control her habits. How can I stop her using the phone? Yes, ma'am, I understand. This is a basic challenge which every parent faces because the trend is this. But remember, we follow the trend which is from US. And I would like to tell you, in US, till 10th standard, they are not allowed to use the mobile. But यहाँ तो 2 साल का बच्चा भी मोबाइल यूज करना चाहता है. We are taking the electronic gadgets from the Western world, from the world, from US, but we are not taking the effects and the side effects, their implications, how are they using. We are taking those gadgets and we are using it to our optimum use, the way it benefits us. A parent which is busy and it wants the child to get involved, what do? Just mobile पे देख game skill. This is how the initially the habit starts. We to avoid the child's answer, we tell them go on the Google, search it. At the end of the day, the child gets addicted to these gadgets. And what happens is he gets more involved into it than you think to. So I request each parent, please give time to your child. These modern gadgets are useful, but we are not using the way it has to be. So now, if the child is demanding for a phone in the class, you can say you cannot take it to the class because the school rules do not allow it. Yes, at home, when you finish your homework, as said earlier, fix 1 hour per time and say this is 1 hour. You can help out yourself. You can form a WhatsApp group, tell your friends to come on live at those 1 hour per time. So let her fix or let him fix a time which is suitable for her or him with the friends and they can chat, speak, and use it. You just cannot deprive them from these gadgets because today the world is moving with it. So you also have to move with it, but keep space. Keep up space between the use and the usage of the gadgets. This will help you to develop rules and systems in your family. So every day 1 hour you can suggest your child to use. Let the hour timing be as per her or his convenience. Not late nights, ma'am. Not after 10:30, 11. Tell them before 10 o'clock you can use. And it should be an appropriate time where you also are there to monitor them. You can see them what are they doing. They will not allow you to peep in the phone, but with their expressions you can understand what are they discussing, what are they seeing, what are they monitoring. Our next question is by Smita Suname, how to keep away from the addictive game like PUBG. Uh, there is no answer for this, but what you can do is just delete the app because PUBG has become so famous all throughout. I do not know what PUBG is, but it is a game which every child is getting addicted, and we have seen many dead cases taking place of this. So make the child aware of it. Again, 1 hour session, not about that. See that nobody much of it uses PUBG at all. So the more the gadgets are used, the more the child gets used to it and more they understand. They will not take the good part, but they will go to those part of entertainment which you and I don't want them to undergo currently. PUBG is a game which every child is getting addicted, which is not a good sign. It should be banned from the government itself. So you can request the government to put a ban on it. They have been trying doing it, but I do not know are they succeeding in this part. So what you can do at your personal level is put a lock system to it if it is possible, or tell them you will use it only 1 hour when you are there. So you have to be a bit tight on your rules and regulations. Then only the child will come under control. Seema ma'am wants to know, whenever I start studying, most often I get distracted towards my phone and this breaks my link with the flow. How can I avoid this? Very simple, ma'am. Put on your mobile on an aerial mode or put it on silent and keep it away for 1 hour. You can put a status also for your friends. Keep for 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever your studies, do not disturb. and let them ping or let them put on messages. But it is on you. If you keep your phone next to you, you will surely get distracted. Keep it away from you. Put it on another room. Give it to somebody else. And tell them not to disturb you with your mobile till 2 hours when you are studying. See, this rule has to be set by you because you want it. You want it, nobody to disturb you, and nobody can disturb you if you do not want anybody to disturb you. It is in your own hand. Keep it away. If there are emergency calls, you can, before sitting to study, you can tell your parents, your friends, "Ki this is the hour where I'm studying, so please do not disturb." Or message, "I will come back to you after 2 hours." So this will help you to increase your concentration on study. This will help you to increase your grades. Please follow a rule for yourself. Lay down your own rules. Don't take rules from anybody. Follow your own rules. This will help you to follow them more easily because you know your comfort zone. You know, for 1.5 hour, you can study without anybody disturbing. So follow it. Start from 1 hour, then come to 1.5 hour, then come to 2 hours. And slowly, slowly, you will understand you can stay, you can survive without these lessons. The more you keep your mobiles close to you, the more you get distracted. The moment you do not understand a point, or moment you find difficult to learn the point, you just go back to your desert to refresh yourself. Mobiles are not for refreshing. They are only to convey messages. So to refresh yourself, you can put your head down, relax for 5 minutes, and then come back to study. You go back to mobile to refresh yourself. You see the notes, you see your points, you see your WhatsApp, and then you are involved into it, and your study goes sideways. So please see that you, for your refreshment, you just put your head down and take deep breaths. And next is from Vivek Tiwari. My boy has a studio reading, but whenever he reads, he starts sleeping after 30 to 40 minutes. Good, sir, if you have a studio reading. So it is very nice. Let him start reading. If he's reading, so at least he's putting in efforts. Initially, he will go to sleep, but the moment he gets involved, he gets interested into it, his time span will increase. After reading 30 to 40 minutes, he goes to sleep. So he is still reading for 30 minutes, sir, which is good. Today, the child is not at all interested in reading. The child is reading, which is very good. I'm happy that you've made a studio for him, which helps. I would request you, don't pressurize the child. Let him take his space. And then after 30 or 40 minutes, you will see after some days the time span will increase. वो 40 to 50 minutes तक read करेगा and then 50 to 1 hour. This is how the child grows. So give him time, give him space, and he will grow. Tushar sir says there are educational videos, for example, nursery rhyme, etc. on YouTube. I want my child to see them and learn, but I'm also worried he will be habitual to it. How can I help him to learn? Sir, I want you to understand क्या हमारे time में ये videos था? It was the parent or it was the teacher who was saying those nursery rhymes and we were following and imitating. Do the same activity. If you put on those videos, I tell you, he will not study anything in his near future without those videos. He will tell you, put on that video, then only I will study. He will ask each and everything on the video, not on the books. We are still with the books. We are not fully on those electronic screens. So I request you, do not put on the tubes. Yes, you can put on those nursery rhyme ka cassettes. Let him hear. Let that music go on. Let him hear those sounds. Let him hear those nursery rhymes. This will help him because that hearing impact will be there in his mind. The more he will hear, it will subconsciously absorb in his mind and he will be able to sing the songs when you put the song next time. But if you put on the video, yeah, the impact is there. The grasping power of the child when the video is on because he sees and he hears it is always greater than only hearing. But remember, the child is too small for this. At a nursery time, he is hardly of 3 to 4 years. And if you're putting it on the video, he will get addicted to it. When he comes to class 1, he will tell you, put the chapter 1 also on the video and show me. Yes, you will get it, but then he will get addicted to it. The eyes will be affected more. The eyes will be affected, his thinking skills will be affected, his hearing skills also will be affected. So I request you, just put on songs, don't put on the videos. You can show them the video once a week, but not a regular basis. And when they ask it again, they say, "Oh, video chala gaya." The child doesn't have that knowledge कि video है कि नहीं है. You can say the video had just come and it has just gone. And next time when it comes, we will show you another video. See that you do not repeat the videos again and again because the child then understands, yes, this video is seeing. Remember, they are more smarter than you. So now you have to understand how to control their smartness. This will give you better results. Hope you all are understanding what we want you to convey the message. Digital is good, but more usage of digital electronics is again harming the new generation. We are started wearing specs at the age of 40, but now we see at 4 years also a child has a weak side. Because when the mother was pregnant, the mother was busy on the mobile or on the screen, which has directly affected the sights of the child, and therefore you have a child with weak eyesight. I request all the pregnant women see that you are less away from the digital usage. I understand you are a working woman and you have to be in front of these gadgets, but the more you can avoid, the better is for your health, and the more rules you can set for your child. If you understand this, this is very good for you and this will help you out. We are waiting for more questions to become and hope I have satisfied everybody, the ones who are asking this. Khalida ma'am, hope I have given you the answer which you wanted to. Seema ma'am, the same comes to you. See that the child uses or does his work well. Vivek, sir, I request you just see that the child is reading. Don't see the time read. If he is reading, which is good enough, which is very good, that will help you to move forward. Tushar sir, I would request you to not put any videos of nursery rhymes. I want you to understand more the child is seeing the YouTube, he will understand there is a channel on and he will demand each and every time for this. Please, at the age of 3 to 4 years, do not make your child aware of YouTube. See that he doesn't get much addicted to it. The moment you start giving them more opportunities, more options, they will demand more and more from you. So, in this digital detox, what we want you to understand is parents, first follow yourself and then put the same thing on your child. We are waiting for more answers. We want you to like this channel, subscribe this channel, and please send the feedback. How do you feel it? How do you like it? Also put on more views if you want to. Also tell us whichever channels, whichever things, whichever points you want to discuss. We are there on this webinar session. Genext is associated with the teachers team and also with the team of students and parents. Parents, you can call us for any guidance, any counseling sessions, or anything, any points you want to discuss. We are there to help you. It is not only an online program which is taking place, but this can also take place on one basis. You can meet us in person, we can set a counselor for you, and you can get your doubts or your points cleared. Whatever is in your mind can be shared and it can be kept in our space only. We request you to share all your concerns so that we can help you to grow. We can help your child also to grow with us. Hope we are understanding this challenge. Is anybody else there to answer the questions? We are there to answer all your questions here. Hope you have understood the concept of digital detox and we request you to subscribe this channel. We'll be here soon with our next topic, as said or updated by our parents. Hope you have liked this channel. Hope you have liked the seminar, the session which has taken place, and it has benefited you. Thank you. We shall meet you in our next session very soon. Thank you very much.